Welcome to this week's edition of Mountain Outhouse News. I'm your host, Jam Jam. This is the craziest shit to happen in running this week. This week's stories include Spring Energy's lab results, beer aid stations, and a new 48-hour world best. The results are in, and the conclusive evidence from multiple independent lab tests have shown that multiple of Spring Energy's natural food gel products have less calories and carbs than listed on their nutrition labels. The latest shoe to drop are the results from Brady Burgess's GoFundMe project, which was set up to test not only Spring's Awesome Sauce, but multiple other popular brands' gel products in a lab analysis to determine if the stated carbs and calories line up with reality. The GoFundMe was successful as 110 donors raised $2,805 to get results on Spring's Awesome Sauce, Spring's Canterbury, Honey Stinger Acai Pomegranate, Huma Apple Cinnamon, Knack Apple and Maple Syrup Puree, Goo Strawberry Banana, Morton 100 Precision Fuel PF90 Gels, and Science and Sport Beta Fuel Strawberry and Lime. The results came back all within the FDA's label regulations that each product contained at least 80% of the carbs listed and no more than 120% of calories listed. Only Spring Energy's Awesome Sauce and Canterbury were outside this range. In their tests, multiple samples of Awesome Sauce were sent in and ranged between 53 and 86 calories of the stated 180 on the label. Not good. This aligns well with Coop's 75 calories and Sport Hunger's 66 when they sent into their respective labs. As for Canterbury, the GoFundMe got 50 calories out of the stated 100, and Coop got 43. All of the other brands were very close to actual, with the worst performing of the bunch being Knack's Puree at 176 calories out of the stated 200. Spring certainly has some digging to do here in order to rectify the situation, and so far we've not heard much in terms of their plans to correct this for the community. I guess we'll just have to wait and see, but many retailers have already issued refunds or are fire saling remaining product. It will be a long road ahead to regain the trust of retailers, coaches, and customers who've been affected by the situation. Beer as an aid station beverage? We've likely all experienced this at an ultra at some point in time. Somewhere deep in the woods, coming upon an oasis of a party clad with shots or beer handed out by enthusiastic volunteers, but beer offered at a sanctioned road marathon? Canadian Running reports that the Calgary Marathon has become the first marathon race to offer an on-course beer aid station. Not only that, but two of them, located at the 18-kilometer and 36-kilometer marks. The only catch? You've got to get past the headlines to find out that this scheme is the creation of local One for the Road Brewing Company, a prominent local non-alcoholic brewery. You got me good. We don't normally venture too far from the run space, but have to share this brutal image from the Bentonville Bike Fest, where a tornado tore through their race expo area, making an absolute mess of vendor tents, bikes, and sponsor goodies. I can only imagine the frustration and damages caused here in this situation. The tornado struck overnight, not only disrupting the Bike Fest expo, but also taking down trees across many of Bentonville's world-class trails. It doesn't appear anyone there for the Bike Fest was injured, but the storm did kill 8 in the area. Next, on to some more positive news and a touch more bike, this time at the Unbound 200-mile gravel race, which saw for the first time ever a separate women's start line. Why is this important? Oftentimes being close to the other top men when they all start together can break up the dynamics of the women's peloton. But in this situation, the women determined their own fate, and in this case created one of the most inspiring races gravel has ever seen. There was a pack of 9 that crossed through the finish chute together in essentially a sprint finish after over 10 hours of racing across Kansas. This year saw relatively good weather. Triathlete turned ultra runner Heather Jackson was amongst the top group and finished 5th. We have a recent DQ to report from the Orange County Marathon after it was revealed that race winner Esteban Prado, who finished the race in 2 hours 24 minutes 54 seconds, was caught taking fluid and nutrition from someone on course biking alongside him. Turns out it was his father who was biking next to him for much of the race and handing him items. For those not in the loop, this is a big no-no and specifically prohibited in the USA Track and Field Rulebook. You can only obtain nutrition and hydration from official stations along the course. Apparently, some of the aid stations may not have been up to standard this year according to some participant reports, but still, no reason to cheat on this rule. We've got a new 80-year-old age group record in the 5K. Jan Holmquist celebrated her birthday and a new age group bracket with a 24:08 finish time at the Great Bear Run in Needham, Massachusetts. Not only that, but Jan placed 425th overall out of 854 runners. One of the oldest but maybe most forgotten of the original 100-mile foot races in North America, held since 1979 and billed as a reason to get strong, the Old Dominion took place in Virginia last weekend. One thing cool about this one is their intent on being old school and grassroots. They are 100% volunteer run, have 0 sponsors, but still host 23 aid stations. This year saw John Kelly headline the field, and he didn't disappoint. He finished the course in first place in a time of 15:44.49, one of the faster times seen on this course, and according to the race founder, it should be considered the course record on the current day course. Only Eric Clifton, 15:10 in 1992, and Frank Bozanich, 15:17 in 1980, have run a faster time on any iteration of the course. Next, we head to the track and the Hoka Festival of Miles high school race, where Drew Griffith landed a 3:57.72 to take the win in the mile. British ultra runner Sophie Power has just set a new fastest crossing of Ireland. Mimi Anderson held the mark of 3 days, 15 hours, 36 minutes for the full 350-mile route set back in 2012. Sophie set out and covered 200 kilometers in her first day after her start time of 8:03 a.m. She was able to wrap up the entire route across the country in 3 days, 12 hours, 8 minutes. She used the record-setting run to raise funds for She Races, a platform to break down barriers for women in sport. You can check that out and donate at sportsgiving.co.uk. We have a new 48-hour world record for women. The Global Organization of Multi-Day Ultramarathoners, or GOMU, held their 48-hour world championship this past weekend, where we saw an incredible battle for first, with Steinrex of Denmark edging out Arina Masanova of Russia by just over half a kilometer. Stein ran 435.564 kilometers to establish a new record over Camille Herron by just 238 meters. Of note here is that the IAU, or International Association of Ultrarunners, has previously maintained the record books for the 48-hour event, and the event was not IAU labeled. Our Runfar reports the run won't be eligible to be ratified by the IAU. However, GOMU does maintain their own records for multi-day running events lasting longer than 24 hours. We'll have to see how this ultimately shakes out, but there's a very real possibility that, at least for now, there might be an IAU 48-hour world record and a GOMU 48-hour world record. Looking ahead to this weekend, the Dipsy race is here. For a great preview, check out the Dipsy statistician, aka Sam Spinrad, who breaks down his top 15 picks. Paddy O'Leary was last year's winner, and he's returning, but he loses a minute handicap, so Sam is picking Chris Lundy for the win. That's it for this episode. Have a shitty week.